In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
Welcome back to another Pointless Automotive podcast.
Hello. We are back. I know we just
better.
last week / immediately before this spent some time talking about various engines, some very popular, some more obscure.
Ooh, I like obscure.
Obscurities, and I think that's what we wanted to kind of go over today was the land of the obscure, which I feel like is probably our best place.
Our stomping grounds.
It is. It's right in our wheelhouse. It's the world of automotive obscura.
So thematical, dude.
Yes. Oh, you have to be thematic. So we're done talking engines. We're talking obscure automobilia. There's some
mountains
stuff
went down
out
the wrong
there.
tube.
Oh, hey, as long as we're going down a tube. Was that Steve-O that did the butt chug on one of the Jackass movies? I think it was. So in lieu of doing that, we wanted to talk about some of the more random, forgotten, obscure things in the automotive world, specifically cars, makes, models.
Yeah, in a non-sexual manner. I don't mean to toot our own horns this time.
Sure. Yes.
But in general, we're pretty well versed in weird stuff.
We do get weird. Yes.
Wait till these cameras are off.
Yeah.
But we generally aren't surprised when we see a car. We tend to know about it, what its story is. But every once in a while, we do get surprised. We'll see something we completely forgot about, and it just brings us back and like, what the heck is the story? And you kind of want to find out how this came to be, right?
Right.
Whether it be a rebadged car or something completely, one-off.
Yeah, some bizarro special edition that you didn't know existed.
And we're just driving, and there could be like a really nice Ferrari next to us, but that obscure car drives by, and you're like, what the heck was that?
Yeah, an immaculate like Chevy Celebrity Eurosport goes floating past.
Those things are great.
They're terrible.
Anything
they're objectively brutally bad.
Anything with a red accent trim line around the car.
Yes,
you got me, baby.
Huge ABS callouts.
On the wheels, like engraved on the
wheels, the bumper covers, the deck lid, the fenders. But yeah, there is some interesting stuff out there. Who should go first? Should I go first? Do you want me to go first?
Why don't you start this obscura off?
I'm gonna start. You know what? I'm gonna get us kickstarted in the shallow end of the pool. I'm gonna tread lightly.
That's where I like to pee
First. Yeah, you get more like urine per square inch with this water displacement.
Yeah, the non-dangerous swimmers, I like to give them an extra challenge.
Exactly. Yeah. I went to the doctor and they told me I had non-dangerous swimmers. Speaking of
Congrats.
Vehicle, hey, you know what? I'm one and done.
Congrats.
So, do you remember? And it's a car that like I feel like everyone kind of remembers, but I cannot tell you the last time I saw an extremely clean Toyota Paseo.
Man, it's been a while.
The Paseo?
It's been a while. The two-door only.
Two-door only. The Paseo was basically, I think that was designed at Calty, which is like the California design team for,
I believe so,
for Toyota in Long Beach, I believe, and they said, you know what, we need a Tercel coupe that's sexy.
A little bit of sport sprinkled in.
It is. We're gonna get our most bargain basement economy car, and we are going to sexify it.
Hey now.
And so we ended up with the Toyota Paseo, the 93 horsepower, I think, 1.5 liter economy 4-cylinder. Front wheel drive.
Could get a stick though.
Definitely could get a 5-speed manual.
Oh.
And I don't know. I think you got a 4-speed auto. I know those Tercels of that era came with some of them came with a 3-speed auto.
Pretty impressive.
And 4-speed manuals.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
And I believe it was called something different in Japan because they did sell them there as well. I think it was like the Toyota Cynos. I think it was Cynos. I think.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And yeah, Toyota Tercel.
Let me go back to Gran Turismo 2 and check that real quick.
Exactly. Yeah. And who knows? Maybe when they ported it.
Yeah.
To the States,
they changed it. Yeah.
You got the Paseo. I had a friend who had one in high school, an early Paseo, like a '93.
Okay.
First gen Paseo, and very very small, stone reliable, dead slow. Looked okay for the time. I always thought it was a decent looking car.
They got pretty bubbly at the end. Looked pretty cool.
Yeah, the second gen was cool, and the second gen you can get a convertible. which I think at the time...
Ooh, that's pretty hot.
I think they had stopped making the... I think at the time, or at least partway in the run, I don't know if it was all the way through the second gen run or the whole way through, but they had stopped doing the Metro convertible. So then the Paseo convertible became the cheapest convertible that you can buy, even cheaper, I believe, than like a Cavalier convertible.
Whoa.
And I mean,
That's frightening.
The era of the inexpensive convertible is long dead. What's the cheapest convertible that you can buy today? Miata?
Brand new?
Miata's the answer. But
Jeez, I think you're
brand
right.
new, it's probably Miata or maybe, Wrangler? Like a base
I don't
Wrangler
think
Sport
so.
two-door?
I don't think so. No, I think that's more than the Miata. More than a base Miata for sure.
I don't know. They're right there. But point being is there are no truly inexpensive, you can't go get a two-door Versa convertible.
Can you imagine how horrible that would be? Like a Versa Note convertible.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I would settle for like a base Civic. They don't make a two-door Civic anymore, but if you can get a base Civic convertible, that would be kind of dope.
First time ever, right?
Here's the thing, and coupes are dead to begin with. So
cars are dead.
Cars are dead
to begin with.
We're all dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was dead the whole time. Spoiler alert.
From the grave.
But yeah, the Toyota Paseo, I would love to see a hyper clean one. That would be a car that I think would be sneaky cool. If you got a very, very, very clean one.
Yeah.
And put some like decent wheels on it and just like, I would have just had a clean one in general.
I want to start shopping for one of those when we get off the podcast.
You're not going to find one. I mean, you'll find one, but it'll be like
automatic.
Needs a transmission, automatic, $1,000, and it's been sitting in a field and it's got 300,000 miles.
You do scoop a manual. I bet it's going to be cheap. I bet it's going to be super cheap.
See, that's a car that needs to come through my car donation client.
Oh, that'd be hot.
Is a clean, low mileage Paseo,
Who
grandpa.
squirrels away a Paseo? That's the only challenge.
Well, you don't squirrel one away. It's just grandma drives 40 miles a month.
Yeah.
From 1996 to now.
That cool grandma with a stick would be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Toyota Paseo. And I think you could make one cool. I think if you had a clean one,
God, I like
you
that.
can make one cool.
Yeah, dude.
Toyota Paseo.
I mean,
completely
it's a Toyota.
forgotten.
It'll run forever.
Is it the most forgotten about 90s Toyota product?
Oh, Solara.
How
many people get excited?
I still see Solaras, though. You do not see Paseos.
Saved in my marketplace right now, I have a Solara manual, just so you know.
Four-cylinder only.
Yeah, but still.
Four-cylinder only.
Still.
What other land of automotive obscura? I know I got us started in the shallow end of the pool. I'm not going full deep dive yet.
No, that's
what more randomness.
So just the other day, I had to bring it up to you. I saw he's my counselor also, everyone.
Exactly. It's okay. The couch is over there.
Frank's there when I get confused in life. Chrysler Aspen. I saw one in the wild.
And that's the Toyota Durango or Toyota Durango.
Oh, boy.
That'd be one of those weird, like they import the US car to Japan and they call it a Toyota Durango. It's a Dodge Durango, but the Chrysler edition, right? So you got like chrome trim and like fancy leather and
like clear taillights, and it just took me a while to put it together because I've never seen one, and I know they didn't make a lot of them, but it's just, every once in a while you're driving around, you see that car and you're like, dang, that's a thing. Like I knew it was a Durango just by looking at it, and apparently, believe it or not, you can get the Chrysler Aspen with a Hemi in it.
Hold up.
5.7 Hemi.
Yes, you can, and I think when I just was looking up production numbers. Chrysler Aspen Hybrid popped up. I don't think that's a real thing.
What? No.
I think that's fake.
No.
Hold on. This says rare Chrysler Aspen Hybrid. Did they make a Chrysler Aspen Hybrid? Are we just blowing?
How well is it working?
Are we diving into our own obscura here?
Because this is too.
A dressed up Dodge Durango. Yeah, we know that.
Now we do.
The Aspen was featured in the 2006 film Deck the Halls, starring Dana DeVito, in the video game The Movies Stunt and Effects. Okay.
Sweet.
It says, unfortunately, both those movies were just as forgettable as the Aspen. So, apparently
would you say Dick the Balls?
Not yet. No.
Deck the Halls.
Yeah, slightly different film. The 2000. So they discontinued it, but yeah. So there apparently was. They made it for 2 months. 2-month production run of the Aspen and Durango hybrid. I did not know there was a Durango hybrid either.
Can you buy one? There
for 2 months, you could have.
It gotta be out there. I kind of want to get a Hemi one just for.
And it was a 5.7. It was with a 5.7 Hemi, so it was a hybrid with a 5.7 Hemi. This has 390 horsepower and 499 pound-feet of torque.
This is the problem.
I'm finding one.
These kind of episodes,
we will find one.
This is the problem.
There's like 6 of them made. We will find it. So,
hey, reach out, guys, if you're harboring an Aspen hybrid with a Hemi in it.
Exactly, Durango and Aspen hybrid enthusiasts.
At APA
we need you.
Podcast.
We need you now. Exactly.
We'll buy it with Bitcoin.
Boy,
we'll purchase it with OnlyFans coin.
That's probably the most. There are some seriously obscure mid 2000s SUVs.
That's got to be it.
That's got to be it. I mean, you've got. It's definitely more uncommon than the XUV, the Envoy XUV.
Oh, way more uncommon.
Which is the XUV is probably weirder, but the Aspen hybrid is way weirder.
A Hemi hybrid.
But at least there's a. You had the Silverado and Tahoe hybrids and Escalade hybrid, which are equally as strange.
This is Mopar or no car, my friend.
As a hybrid.
It's so cool.
Such a weird thing.
Damn.
Who knew? Saab 97X Aero is another obscure.
It's on my list.
Mid 2000s.
The 94X is even rarer.
Yeah, that's another one that was like a several month production run before they went belly up. I saw a lady driving a beat up one of those the other day.
That's wild.
Not the other day. It was probably 6 months ago. But
did you ask her about her life choice? Sorry.
No, I think she was lost in her own head.
Yeah.
She was probably driving it to trade it in for her Durango hybrid.
Yeah.
Chrysler Aspirin.
Oh, I love it.
Aspirin. That's a Freudian slip if I've ever.
Hey now.
All right. Well, okay. Things to be on the lookout for. The
first one I've ever seen in my life, or that caught my eye, and I saw the name tag, and I was like, "What? That? It's clearly a Durango, but it looks, Chrysler.
Yeah, you've got the mid 2000s Chrysler Pacifica grille.
It came to
and
Chrysler.
Chrome trim.
Is that a statement?
Yes.
The Durango came to Chrysler. Found Chrysler.
Exactly. Jesus Chrysler.
Chrysler, take the wheel.
I was about to say. Aspen. So.
We're clearly in our comfort zone.
I do have. You know what? Let's stick with this theme of the the obscure SUVs from the 2000s era.
I'm game if you want.
Because I do have one on here. I think I've briefly talked about this before in the early days of the podcast when I still am loosely looking for a tow vehicle.
Oh.
This is a 1 year only Korean V8 powered SUV. It had its own bright burnt orange launch color.
You are such a sucker for that color.
It is
a great color. It's such a great color,
dude. And like an FX45, that burnt orange.
Beautiful, and you get your VQ noise you love.
Oh no, you got to go the 45, dog. You get the V8.
Oh,
you got to get the V8,
little burble in there.
That's right, the big boy edition. I'm not talking about the FX45. That's a car I haven't seen a clean one in a long time.
No.
But one you never see, period. The 1 year only, the 2009 Kia Borrego. What a name, right? Like you're going to name something.
Yeah.
I think Borrego's a place. I think it's like a national park or something.
Yeah, they did that right.
That's the easy way out, right? It's just like your Chrysler Aspen.
Well,
you literally just like, what's a place? And I'll just name it after that. And that's like probably 10% of every vehicle on the road right now.
Yeah, like Hyundai did that. It was a Korean thing for sure. Santa Fe, Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Veracruz. You've got the Tacoma, the Tahoe, the Denali, the Colorado. You've got it's a very popular. It's an easy Sienna. I know it's a color, but it's also it's a location, right? I think Sienna. The Biarritz. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, so available with a 4.6 V8. This is a full-size SUV. It was like their luxury flagship SUV. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty boxy. Had a big grille. Available either the Hyundai Kia 3800 V6, which is a decent
power
engine
plant,
for what it was. Or you can get up the 4.6 V8 out of the Genesis. So the V8 and the Genesis sedan.
Oh, the Tao,
and then
not the 5.0, not the 5.0,
not the 5.0, the 4.6, not the one in the R.
Ooh,
but related, very much.
I really
related.
want one of those R's, the 5.0 R's.
I heard they're underwhelming, but I don't know. I'd love an
That's
opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, it's what you can do with it.
7,500 pound tow capacity, true 4-wheel drive, true body on frame SUV.
Yeah.
Which you do not want to be launching in 2009. Because 2009 was like the world is ending.
That thing couldn't have been a standalone. What else was that shared with? That had another badge on
engine?
somewhere. No, the whole.
I think it was. I think overseas.
No way.
I think overseas it was the same vehicle. Just it had like it was a different Kia. It was called the Kia whatever. Kia, not Borrego. It was some other location. I don't know. Kia
Bodega.
The Kia Bodega. The Kia Columbia. I don't know what it was, but yeah, 360 something horsepower V8.
It's pretty sweet.
Korean V8. I was like Korean V8. What the hell? 2009. Oops. Global mega recession. We can't have nice things. That was it. They sold it the 1 year, canceled it, came, went. I kind of want one as a tow vehicle.
It's pretty cool.
I did really want one as a tow vehicle until I learned about the existence of the Aspen Hybrid. So, yeah, top. That's got the Borrego. The Borrego's got to be like top 5 obscure 2000s SUV.
It's got to be.
Because it was a flash in the pan.
Good luck finding one of those, probably. Yeah.
Definitely good luck finding one. What else would I need good luck finding? What else is in your world of things that you want to be discussing?
Well, we really just got into a conversation about the B9 Tribeca from Subaru.
Correct.
Which
yes.
was widely panned as being atrocious, which it was. It's a very disturbing looking vehigle, but now I look at it, it really is just an ugly Cayenne if you think about it. It looks very similar. Dimensions very similar. You got a flat.
It is a melty. It is a melty.
Yeah,
Cayenne.
and it's when Subaru was doing that weird airplane heritage grille, which you love in the STI. You love the Hawkeye.
I like it on that car and nowhere else.
Exactly. On the Tribeca, it was a stretch, and
the Tribeca was.
It's kind of like kidney grills almost, but not. It's like too much.
What can you do to a Tribeca to make it?
Can you pop that grill out?
There's got to be a way to make that car cool.
I'm sure there's like a grill delete. You can lower it. You can put the Cobb supercharger kit on it.
That's right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, have it blown B9. The B is for blown on the B9 Tribeca.
God bless.
Yeah, and you can do that. Wait, did we just make a right turn in the B9 Tribeca?
We did because we looked it up. It's obscure. How often have you seen a B9 Tribeca? They made it for 2 years. We looked it up.
Yeah, and then they dropped the B9.
They made it look normal.
Right. Yeah, they made it look
Forester.
They made it look competitive. And then even then it's dead now, right? It's what do we have now? The Ascent.
The Ascent, which is the full size Forester.
Not to be confused with. Is this gonna unwittingly become the?
Are you gonna say the Ascenter?
The Ascender.
How do I know you so well?
A Isuzu Ascender. And that's the thing. It's like this is suddenly becoming the obscure SUV.
This is how it works. We have to.
What if that was your collection?
What
is you just do obscure SUVs.
The something degrees of Kevin Bacon. I think we're doing that right now. We're kind of just segueing into more obscure. I put the B9 Tribeca. You know what? I feel like I kind of want to do that, and for shits and giggles, imagine strapping on that Cobb kit and either lowering it or going off road.
Dude, yeah. I have to imagine like you'd have to go straight up like fabrication special to be able to jack one of those up. Or lower, honestly. Like I can't imagine this. Like there's a bunch of
imagine a
lowering
slammed
kids
B9
sitting on a shelf
Tribeca
somewhere
though with a horrible vent to atmosphere blow off for the supercharger system and a gnarly exhaust. We get some friggin' Subaru Boxer rumble.
It could be cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of being different, right? Like I would much rather have that than just like I don't even know. Pick what's a decent SUV to like slam and do that with right now. Nobody does it with a Macan, but they should. Like if you had a base Macan, just boost it to the moon and drop it.
Drop it down, I could see that.
Turn it into a
Cayenne
wagon.
GTS
Proper
with a manual.
though. I don't want to go hella flush.
Cayenne GTS with a manual. You got
could. The problem with those cars is those cars are actually pretty good off road. Those Cayennes.
Yeah, they are.
So I feel like I'd be shortchanging it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but yeah, B9 Tribeca.
It's a good one.
Bring the weird, man.
Pure weird. And I feel like all of them are in some like greenish gold color.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. Did they have two-tone ones? I kind of feel like they might have had a two-tone at first.
God willing. You know.
God. I got my shopping list is getting too long.
Go Panda. Go, yeah.
the Fujiwara tofu shop on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go the robot throwing the Ninja Star or whatever on the from the Supra.
Oh yeah.
On the Fast and Furious.
Are we gonna go to Isuzu right now? Because there's a lot. Oh, there's a lot of obscura.
There is a lot of obscura. I didn't prepare for Isuzu talk, but I can just jump in with 2 feet.
Yeah, same here.
What are we gonna go like maybe one of the slowest cars of the '80s, the Isuzu iMark Diesel,
Oh my god.
which I think was like in the 40s as far as
Which
horsepower.
don't exist anymore.
They do not exist. Any version of iMark.
Well, I saw an iMark Turbo maybe 5 years ago, the hatchback, the final year.
Would you rather have iMark Turbo?
It's so boxy.
Or Isuzu Stylus with handling by Lotus? What would you rather
Well,
pick?
the Impulse RS would be my first choice.
Yeah. That's
You
kind of
know.
inarguably...
But the iMark was
greatest.
gorgeous. It was kind of like boxy, like a Ford Escort kind of from the period.
Yep.
It actually had a decent power plant.
Yeah. You ever seen an Isuzu, the 117? They never sold them here. But it was like a really cool coupe they sold through like the late 70s.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
Into
from the
the late
70s, early. I thought it was
Might have been mid-80s. It might have been mid-80s, yeah.
Never seen one here, though.
Never seen one here. They never sold them in North America, but a pretty car.
Yeah, Isuzu was pretty cool design-wise. I mean,
Plus they had Isuzu Joe. Or Joe Isuzu, sorry. Joe Isuzu.
he never lied, but he always lied. Was
Yeah,
the joke.
that guy was monstrously terrible.
Probably
human
dead,
being.
right?
God willing. I mean, that guy was.
Ugh.
He's like. I feel like he's like the Grandpa Joe of the automotive world, right? You know, maybe I've just got it out for people named Joe, but like Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was just a monstrously terrible human being.
Lazy son of a bitch.
I know, right? He's like, oh, I'm broke and poor, and then he hits the golden ticket, and he starts doing front flips and stuff
Yeah.
in the living room. Just human
I
parasite.
hope they audited that guy after.
Exactly. But I feel like probably Joe Isuzu.
Do you think
is
of Joe
probably
Isuzu?
related.
Do you think he's a worse ad campaign than the Catera with Cindy Crawford and that damn bird?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. We're remembering both of these ad campaigns, so they worked.
Yeah.
They worked.
Maybe
well,
not,
the Catera didn't
not
work.
for the
That's why the
positive
Catera
intentions
failed.
they were designed for. Yeah.
I'm trying to. What's the worst?
Is that Catera still for sale?
The one down the street.
Yeah.
The Catera that was down the street.
I don't know. I
didn't
didn't even drive that way.
I did drive that way.
Bad, dude.
I drove that way coming in, and it wasn't there. So I don't know. It might have sold.
Congrats or not congrats to whoever bought it.
Yeah, I hope they're a listener. That
Yeah,
would be great.
right.
Yeah, there's probably snowball chance in hell. But yeah, other Isuzu. So you had the Ascender,
The Axiom
the Axiom. Now that
had a cool front end.
it had a really
Super
cool,
futuristic.
flat, futuristic kind of like razor grill type thing.
Super cool.
Yeah, Axiom.
And then the Via Cross.
I think I looked
obviously.
up. Yeah, the Via Cross. I think I talked about it super briefly. Is once I saw like the funniest two-car solution. There was a guy with I drove down. It was a couple miles from my house. A guy just in his driveway was a silver Via Cross and then a yellow metallic PT Cruiser Turbo. And that was like the two-car solution in his driveway. I'm like, yes.
He didn't have an Aztec in the back with the tent.
That was probably in the garage. He was
Yeah.
probably keeping that thing cherry.
Cleaning the tent out.
But yeah, the Axiom, the Ascender. And the Ascender was really just a trailblazer, a rebadged trailblazer.
It was.
So
It
you got to
looked
go.
definitely
you gotta go
crazy
Axiom.
front end treatment though.
Little bit. Yeah, it's the Axiom was cool, but yeah, Isuzu. rest in
Amigo,
peace.
which was more mainstream,
The
but
Amigo?
still cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool. You get the soft top.
Back seat people get the convertible. You could get a V6 with that. You could get the four banger with a manual, which
Very
was neat.
similar to like they did a rodeo with a soft top, right? Isuzu rodeo with a soft top, or no?
I don't know about that one.
I thought they maybe did for like an hour.
Maybe an early one.
Yeah, like early.
Maybe not soft top. Maybe a hard top removable. I don't know.
Maybe it's been a minute since I've done my
Yeah.
rodeo homework. Isuzu. It'd be fun if they came back. I mean, they never would.
I need it. I don't think I've owned an Isuzu.
I've never owned an Isuzu.
I've come close. I told you I looked at that Impulse
currently have
RS.
a
I should have
Suzuki.
bought that Impulse RS for $1,400.
Impulse buy.
It was garbage, dude. I told you it had a Mountain Dew can as part of the intercooler piping.
That's good. Yeah, exactly.
It was rust rotted out. Yeah, right.
Do the do. I will do the do. You know what I actually do instead of the do is, whenever we're talking Obscura, I know we're fans of talking Quad 4. I would love to stumble upon and get some seat time in an Oldsmobile Achieva SCX, which was the top of the line Oldsmobile Achieva, which replaced the Cutlass Sierra, I think.
Yeah, because they had
the more compact 2-door, 4-door deal.
Because I actually was looking at it. I had it saved, a Cutlass LSS, because they had different performance versions of the Cutlass.
They had lots of different
It was
ones.
rear-wheel drive in the 80s.
You had the 442, the 44 or the Quad 442.
Oh, yes.
And then you had the International Series. And
Yeah,
then you had the LSS or the LLS or whatever it is.
I think you're right.
LSD.
I think the Grand Prix is the better looking quad 4 car, but the Oldsmobile is definitely the more obscure.
Yeah, well, the Achieva SCX was the hottest version that they made. It was 190 horsepower, 4-cylinder.
What an engine!
Gitrag 5-speed.
Yeah, it's a good
gearbox. It had
a,
I think it was it might have been factory limited slip. I don't know, but I know it had like all kinds of handling stuff. They sold like 1,100 or something like that.
Yeah,
they
you
didn't sell
can't
very
find
many.
them.
There was an option. There was like an even higher performance option package where you got. I think it came with like R compound tires and like AC delete and like it was like literally meant for like spec series racing.
Huh. You know what I'm worried about? So I've been looking at quad 4s. I mean,
yeah.
How much time you got, buddy?
Yeah.
Let me get on the couch.
Exactly.
So been looking at quad 4s for a while. I
Right.
don't know if quad 4s were ever legal for smog in California. I don't see any here, but I see some out of state, which makes me believe like
Interesting.
because they were like
I mean, that was the era
right?
of like California emissions, right? So,
Right, and they put out horsepower numbers that were like astounding next to their V6 GM stablemates.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like the quad 4 in general is not a easy car to pass smog with.
We're going to do some of our quad 4 enthusiast listeners to chime in.
Yeah, let me know
Looking at
about
you.
that because I can't find them here. And maybe
Yeah.
Cash for Clunkers cleaned them out too.
GM build quality also might have cleaned them out. I mean,
Yeah, the
that's a
rest of the
distinct
car fell
possibility. Yeah, and I don't know enough about long-term reliability issues of the quad 4. I don't think anyone does.
In the rest of the country, these cars were claimed by Rust, but California not an issue. So you expect to see like a good supply of them, but I haven't seen any.
No, none.
Not even in the common Grand Am Grand Prix, which were way more common.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, maybe it's a smog thing.
Could be.
That's a
I don't
high
know.
output 4-cylinder for that time.
It is, yeah, and yeah, I don't know. You might be it. Maybe only like the lower spec quad 4s because I think they had it all the way down to like 150 horse or something like that. It was like the
Still
lowest
better
spec
than the V6.
for sure. I don't know.
And it was
People wanted
ruckusy,
their
right?
torque.
It was very rough running.
Yeah, I don't think the NVH was particularly good on that.
Oh, it's a GM product.
Also extremely true. But yeah, like Achieve, and I feel like in my brain, every one of those is either bright screaming red, white, or like that like bluish teal. Those are the only
Yeah.
colors that those exist
Yeah.
in, I assume.
The bluish teal had the matching
Or
interior.
rust.
Often.
Or the
Oh, yeah, a lot of rust.
other color that it might exist in.
I saw a funny meme the other day. It said rust is lighter than carbon fiber.
It is. It's nature. It's organic weight reduction is what it is.
Just let it go.
Did you see what God did to my race car? Totally helping me out. We going back to Jesus 6 to wheel.
Check out the patina, Tina.
Jesus, I should stop talking about the Achieva SCX. What else are you thinking about?
One can only get so hard.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just especially at my advanced age. What?
So I got one for you, and
do you?
it's not necessarily a rare one, but just because of the feature list, the Volvo C30, R design,
good car.
R design with a manual.
Kind of forgotten about.
Those are actually super rare.
They're super cool.
Really cool, right?
Yeah, it's a good-looking car.
What boxes are we checking? Hot hatch.
Yep.
We're checking 5-cylinder engine.
Yep.
And one
Manual,
of the weirdest
turbo.
manual turbo with the weirdest rear end. Like
I
it's
would
so
say
cool.
Probably prettiest rear end of any dollar amount car. Like
I'd tap it. Yeah,
brilliant.
I'd definitely tap it.
Brilliant looking car.
Good looking car.
Front end looks good too. It's shared with like the V50 and the S40, but
Which is good. On the
That's
R
not
design,
bad.
it's a little spicier. And in the interior, the seats are, of course, Volvo quality, which couldn't go wrong at that time.
am I gonna have to buy a C30?
Dude, they're pricey. I saw one
are
for
they?
sale.
Are
I
they
saw an R
rolling out?
design manual, and it was like for $9,500, 10 grand.
Oof.
That's a little steep for what it is. And it had like 180,000 miles.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it was really low miles, I mean, and what year was that? Like a 10 or something?
09, yeah.
09? You know, if you look at it compared to like a contemporary GTI,
But it didn't handle like a GTI out of
No.
the box. The power output was kind of down for what it was. It had an extra cylinder, but it was like slower.
yeah, what was it, like 240 or something?
I think 250 at first.
Oh,
The T5s, all the S40s, and I might be wrong. All the S40s and V50s were 215.
right. Yeah,
So maybe
I
they
thought maybe
tweaked
the
it
R
a-
design was a little bit more.
Yeah, but it wasn't like an R. That's why they called it R design. So it got like the
Right.
body treatment. The interior got
Yeah,
churched
like
up.
you have your like Elantra N line.
Sure.
And you've got your
or sport nowadays.
the Audi S line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like the waterfall like controls for the audio and the climate control. I think that was cool. That Volvo waterfall where you could store stuff.
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
it.
that was always
Yeah,
cool, and it
it's
had like
cool.
all the seat, like the the fan position.
Yeah, with the body parts and what it's blowing on.
The kibbles and bits. Allegedly, you would get between 225 horse to 250. So yeah, you had from Chrysler, you had stuff like the Omni 024 and the Plymouth Horizon TC3.
Weird stuff.
Which turned into the Plymouth Turismo, which then turned into the Dodge Rampage.
That's right.
Which was the truck version of it. But you had, and even that, I think the first years of those cars, those Omni 024s and Horizon TC3s were those. I think the first couple of years of those were the 1.7 Volkswagen motor out of the Scirocco.
That's right.
Was
not the exciting engine. Yeah, not the dual head cam 16 valve.
Certainly not. And then you had the MR2, early MR2 and early Fiero,
cool car,
and even like the first gen Nissan Pulsar, which it had a back seat but barely.
Could have been almost a wagon sometimes too.
In the second gen one, yeah, you can get the sport back.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
They kind of started. You got later in the '80s, and these like econo sports cars got a little bigger and more back seats, and you had the Civic Si hatch and stuff like that.
Dude, but you said it, Escorts, man. Escorts, back in the day, and I don't know if it's still like this, when you get on Craigslist and you search for Ford Escorts, you have to put Ford in there. Because I'll tell you what, man, I couldn't find the car, but I had some great times.
Yeah, you can definitely, if you play your cards just right, depending on how much money you want to burn through.
Yeah.
And prophylactics. But the thing with, Escorts were interesting because they were kind of like, I don't want to say they were universally panned because they were an okay economy car, but they had some decent versions. And you had, what was it, the Mercury Lynx?
Yep, same, yeah. That was an Escort.
Am I the only one that mildly schadenfreudely misses Mercury? I mean, they deserve to go away.
Oh, I like that Tracer LTS I had.
Tracer
I liked
LTS,
that one a lot.
Mercury Milan, or like Mercury, because it was just the Topaz, the Lynx, the Bobcat. The Sable
with the light bar. Mm-hmm. You want to Taurus with the light bar? I got something for you.
Cougars of all makes and models.
Cougars,
XR7s. But yeah, that era of, and that's one I think could stand to come back as like the sporty econo.
It's gone.
It is gone.
We talked about that. We talked about cheap fun being gone.
Like if you had an economy version, what if you had like a hybrid Miata? Hear me out. Hear me out. With a manual, hybrid Miata, or automatic. Here's the thing. If you wanted to actually sell, you just have an automatic. CVT, whatever. But
no, the weight.
Inexpensive.
It would ruin it.
50 miles a gallon.
Weight would ruin it.
Top down.
You're adding like 600 pounds of battery.
Cut off a cylinder.
No.
Or even just like a hyper miley friendly, all gas, 45 mile a gallon. Now that everyone's returning to work or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's a way that it could.
A Miata? No, because once you add weight, you lose handling, which is what a Miata's about.
What if you just make a two-seat Prius, two-seater Prius?
Would that even be fun?
I mean, as fun as a Lincoln LN7.
I still reckon the LN7's more fun.
I don't know. We need to get one. There's like two left on the globe.
Yeah, EXPs pop up every once in a while.
Yes, there's one. I'm gonna locate one for you, my friend, because I know of one, and I know it's for sale. I know it's got a Weber on it, so it would never pass smog. So I don't know how homie is intending to sell it, but it's bright red. It's red over red, and it's been stored in stores for like 30 years. And it's a
so
runner.
Many things above it on
It's
that,
a runner.
on the list.
And it's an early EXP. It's not the second gen EXP. It's like an 82, I think.
Okay.
With a manual. You might have to experience it. And
I think that's what it stands for, yeah.
It is, yeah. Have you ever been experienced?
Expedite it out of your life.
Exactly. What else would you like to expedite in or out of your life?
So we talked about this one before, but like things like and we talked about the Chevy version of this, the Prism GSI.
Sure.
Which is a car I never knew existed until I bought my Mercury Tracer LTS, and someone's like, dude, have you ever seen this car? And I was like, hell no, what the hell is this? And then on top of that, there's a Prism GSI, which is, a Prism is a Corolla. You guys probably know that.
Rebadged Geo Corolla.
Yep, exactly. And 4 doors, and they had a hatchback version.
They did have a 4-door hatch.
Extremely rare. And you could
Did
get
they call
it
it a
manual.
hatch? They get a fancy name. They call it like a liftback,
yeah,
or the sportback.
Sportback or something like that.
Sportback or the, fullback. I don't know.
No haulerback.
No, it is not your haulerback, girl.
It should be.
Ain't no
It would
holler
be.
back
It would be my holler back girl.
I would dare say that shit's bananas, but keep going.
How do you spell that again?
Bananas is what I've heard.
That's right.
Yep.
So yeah, if you can secure the hatchback with a manual, it's got the 4AGE power plant, which is everybody's like favorite thing ever. High revving, Toyota supplied power plant found in the GTS Corolla of fame.
They did. Yeah, the AE86 Corolla, the first gen MR2.
I'd love to grab one of these. These are super rare, but it's one of those cars like Geo Prism. Sure, they're easy to find. Their automatics always just beaten to crap.
Yeah.
But if you could find one of these GSIs, I looked at that.
manual.
I told you I looked at an automatic.
Yeah,
one.
and it was like puking its guts out.
Yeah, it was idling for like 20 minutes before I got there, and the whole driveway was a waterfall of oil and power steering fluid. I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and hard pass, and it wouldn't rev over like 2,000 RPM. I'm like,
just plug cat, you know.
There's a lot going on there. Yeah.
Well, on that same note, I am still, and it's a new week. I should look and see what's on the Japanese JDM auctions overseas. Dun, dun, dun. Because I still am casually looking for another like Sandbar or Joy Pop or some other K-van. However, I stumbled upon, and I had just missed the start of the auction by like an hour, so I couldn't get throw my hat into the ring on it.
Okay.
85 Toyota Celica. In Japan, they made a version called was it the GTIR or GTSR? It might have just been the GTR.
Yeah, because GTIR was Nissan-y.
It was Nissan. They had a whole bunch of, like, a million different submodels of the Celica that we never got here. And this one it was a coupe. It was a coupe, narrow fender, so it didn't have the super fender flares or anything. Yeah. But it had the super wheels. 5-speed manual with the 4AGE in it. So you got the 4AGE in the Celica instead of the 22R.
Wow.
So similar horsepower numbers, because 105, I think, or 115.
That rev range.
But yeah, 7,500 RPMs. A little bit lighter, a little bit more tossable. It was a 5-speed manual. Pretty uncommon. I think they made one higher end version that was a turbo version that was like a homologation race car special. That was good for like, I think, 160 horsepower.
Okay.
That we never got. But I saw it there and it was just like, it was in pretty good shape. One of the headlights was popped up, one was down. But stuff like that, it's like, you can get those parts from a USDM version. Like, I'm not that worried about it.
Who's winking at you?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I want that car. Because think about it, it's like the...
Right-hand drive, though?
Right-hand drive. It's like the forbidden AE86, right? It's a tiny bit heavier, but you got like independent rear. It's got the Celica body, I would say is arguably the better looking car.
Yeah,
it's JDM only. It's that same motor. I think it would be super, super cool, and it would cost you probably 1/3 the cost of an AE86.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool.
Wonder if the suspension components there's any carryover.
It's probably the same as the USDM Celicas for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So parts are available.
True.
Not as common as they were 20 years ago.
God, nothing is.
But yeah, interesting aside. Can I pull us back to the world of General Motors for a second?
Never left.
Oh boy. Do you remember? This is a sister car to the one I wanted to talk about. Do you remember the Monte Carlo? It's like 86, 87 Monte Carlo. They made it on Monte Carlo. What do they call it? The Aero Coupe.
Oh, what?
This was like a weird kind of NASCAR homologation.
I was gonna say it sounds like the Dale Earnhardt.
Different, except it was all aero mod. So you remember at the time, the Monte Carlo was like a not completely squared off back,
pretty
window,
boxy,
but pretty boxy. You had the boxy-ish back window.
The front end had like a cheese wedge to it.
Yeah, the cheese wedge front end. Yep. They made for NASCAR homologation purposes.
Does it have the flat like spoiler coming off the rear deck lid, or?
I think a little bit of one, but not like
the
full. Not the full like 80-degree angle.
So cool.
Mega ducktail. No, it was. What they did was they completely redid that back hatcher, so it was like a glass hatch that went all the way back, and it was called and then they redid, I think, the headlights and taillights and the front bumper. And then you got like a 15 horsepower bump.
Was it a bubbled out hatch or flat?
Let me find you a photo, my friend.
Is it like a Mercury Capri? How they did that with the Fox
kind
body?
of, yeah, very similar. Except I think it went to then a trunk, and it had a trunk. So I don't think the back opened. It was just called the Aero Coupe.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's in that space? Nothing? A felt cardboard lined?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's literally...
Speakers?
Like, so, it's basically this. So you got, instead of just being cut here...
Oh, that's interesting.
It had a whole bubble back window and then a traditional trunk.
It's kind of weird, dude. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, it's weird. It is weird.
That one is in the Dale Earnhardt, isn't it?
No, this was pre-Dale Earnhardt.
Gotcha,
Dale Earnhardt was still, like, chewing skull and doing that whole thing. But, like, it had, like, a slightly revised front end with more aero and on the back. Okay, and you had a little bit of a spoiler. You know, nothing crazy.
Still front wheel drives.
No, these are rear drive. This is still the rear drive. So because you had the Monte Carlo, which was rear drive, and then you changed to the Lumina. The Monte Carlo disappeared for a little bit. You had the Lumina, and then it came back. The Lumina disappeared. The Monte Carlo came back, and that's when the Monte Carlo was front wheel drive. It was the later ones with the SS Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt ones.
God, they were so cool looking though.
I hated those cars. I hate that generation of Monte Carlos.
I hated them then, but I think they're cool now.
I still don't like them.
I like the Dale Earnhardt, man. I'm not gonna lie.
So
it's cheesy, but it's a cheesy like.
There are a handful of people that remember the Monte Carlo SS Aero Coupe.
That thing's rough looking. I'd take the regular.
Here's the thing, though. They made a Pontiac version that nobody remembers.
What?
It was a Pontiac Grand Prix.
Okay, I was going to say it has to be Grand Prix.
It was Grand Prix, but they called it the 2+2. So it, too, had a modified bubble back window. Again, this is all for NASCAR homologation.
Holy shit.
And so... And then it had a different, like, plastic front bumper. And they sold, like, I think they only sold, like, 1,000 of these.
Who had more buttons inside? Pontiac.
Pontiac, they build button excitement.
They really do.
So I'm gonna find you this Grand Prix 2+2. Super obscure. Where you got the special front end. And look, there's that back window again. So the normal Grand Prix is like a hard cut. And then this is, And it's called the Grand Prix 2+2.
This looks better than Monte Carlo.
Look at that. Look at how bubbly
that looks like a Capri. That looks like a Capri.
I think it's because because there's quarter windows on this that go back further, and it's more truncated trunk, if you will. And then you got this kind of cool front bumper.
Dude, the world of overhang, my friend.
Dude, oh yeah, dude.
50% of this car is overhang.
I think the difference is the Pontiac version, if I recall correctly, you got suspension mods. You didn't in the Aero Coupe. In the Aero Coupe, you got you got like 180 horsepower 305.
God damn.
And in this, you got 165 horsepower. You get the same base 305, but the Aero Coupe, you didn't get suspension mods, I don't think. And this, you got like sway bars, stiffer springs, shocks, all that fun stuff.
It just got a lot warmer.
In the Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2 305 special rear glass. Do not break that rear window. Don't do it. You'll never replace it. But look, this got the more aggressive spoiler.
God dang.
Telling you.
Do you see what's around the entire car?
Oh, red trim. That's how you know it's fast. That's how you know it's fast. And every picture we're seeing here are all silver. I don't know if they're all... Oh, here's a red one.
That's pretty. It kind of looks like a dollar store Trans Am in the front.
Kind of. But yeah, check out that greenhouse.
What?
Yeah. You know what? It strikes of my 65 Plymouth Barracuda.
Kind of does,
The big bubble
It does. To me, it looks like a Fox Body Capri.
Kind of, yeah.
From the back,
Yeah, it's kind of like an unholy mashup of those two cars.
Weird.
Yes. The Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2, and I think it was 86 only. I think the Aero Coupes they made for like 86 and 87, and I think 86 they only sold like 200 just to make the homologation.
I would rock the Pontiac.
And then they sold like 5,000 or 58,000 the next year, so they ended up doing like I think a total of like 6,000 something of the Aero Coupes, but I think only like less than 1,200 of the Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2, the unheralded homologation special.
Here's a hot question for you, buddy.
No one cares about.
They drop a quad 4 in that bad boy?
No, I think it was pure. I mean, we could. We find one with a blown 305. Yeah. Good luck moving that thing, though. This thing is not a lightweight. You need
Still, the quad 4 probably put out similar horsepower. It's like
similar horsepower. I don't know about the torque though. Back to our engine, the S2000 F20C in one of these.
Jesus.
With the 6 speed.
You talk about not moving.
Exactly. Yeah, just like bottom 10 possible engine.
The accessories couldn't hang over 5,000 RPM.
Did you say overhang? Speaking of being overhung, I'm going to pass it to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Is there any other any automotive minutia and obscura that you would like to discuss?
What else did I have to say? Big Chungus in the house. So I was looking at Solara. Toyota Solara, which is basically a two-door Camry, let's be honest.
The Camry Solara for the first chunk.
Yeah, the first generation has aged pretty well. I think the second gen is still atrocious. It has a booty, which I usually wouldn't complain about. But it has a weird booty,
generation,
man.
that era what are we going to say? Probably like 2002 to say 2007, 8 era of Toyota Lexus. A lot of them aren't great. That era, like ES330,
everything
this fishy looking,
bubbly, too bubbly.
That Solara got bubbly. The Camry got bubbly and roundy. Corolla wasn't so bad.
Yeah, that was fine.
You know, the SC430.
Even the trucks, the Tacoma was a little more bubbly.
A little bit.
Comparatively.
But like, yeah, the SC430 was like the pinnacle of like blobbish.
Kind of like that car now. Though.
I kind of like that car too. I kind of hate it. It's a love-hate thing.
Like the engine. PowerPoint's
like
great.
the engine, like the comfort level.
Opulent interior.
It works.
Beautiful
It'll just
interior.
work. But it's also those like pie plate wheels were kind of gross.
I liked it. I like that.
In retrospect, they've grown on me, but like
the power top is phenomenal and still eye-catching to do it in front of someone.
Every one of them is like some rose gold color. You know what's weird is those things hold their value.
Now
you try and find one now.
No, they
like
were bottomed
$15,000
out a few years back. You could get them for $8 to $9.
Yeah, they were still 8 to 9. But even then, at the time, I was like, 8 to 9 feels like a little bit much. Like if I could have gotten one for $5.
Yeah, you imagine if someone did a modern day review on it. Wait, I did.
Oh
Check it out.
Boy. Oh no, where's that? Where can you find that, my friend?
Auto Obsessive Garage.
Ugh.
No, it's a good vehicle. But you're right. But so I put that on my list because
Solara,
you could get the first gen Solara with a manual. Yeah, you get a four banger. But
yeah.
what a cool little car, man.
In that one, that's the later 2.4 liter, right? It's not the 2.2.
No, that's gonna have the 2.4 in it.
The 2.4,
sure.
yeah, which they're okay. I think they had like head stud issues. Yeah. But I mean, that hits like 10% of them.
Give me some head stud.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, you know.
It's just cool looking car. I think it's
after dark.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I mean, you can lower it down. I've seen them like modified too, which looks cool.
There you go.
Just a rare car. Like, when's the last time you saw a Solara manual? No, probably never. In the wild.
Not that I'm aware of. They blend into the background. Like I probably have seen dozens.
You look down and someone's like usually doing that in Solara. They're prepping
they're on Megan's
themselves
Law
for
on
game
something.
time.
Yeah.
Driving through a school playground.
Exactly.
Too soon.
No, definitely some interesting, obscure vehicles, and I feel like we've like just kind of scratched the surface. Like there's definitely more out there.
Deep. You can go deep on this stuff.
There's definitely,
and
you should, and
think about someone else.
It's interesting. It's like now just thinking about like the Aero Coupe and stuff like that. Like how many like when people talk homologation cars, nobody talks about stuff that was homologated for NASCAR building, other than like there's a Superbird rolling around here somewhere.
Yeah, right.
Superbird, Daytona, Charger 500. Nobody's talking Aero Coupe or anything like that. Are we missing? I'm sure we're missing some NASCAR homologation stuff that we just aren't up to snuff on.
Well, they had you have the pace car stuff, right? The IROCs, the Grand Prix.
You did.
There were quite a few pace cars.
Well, hey, you like the Stealth? The Stealth pace car,
that story.
Stealth RT pace car.
Pull it. Let's put a Viper in.
Yeah. You had what other? There's all kinds.
Yeah.
The late run C3 Corvette, I think 81 or 82. They had those like the black and silver two-tone.
Super cool.
Corvette, pace car edition. A lot of pace car edition.
A lot of Camaros.
They did a Celica pace car edition, I think.
No.
I think so. I think they did for it was for the Monterey Grand Prix. Or not Monterey Grand Prix. Sorry, the Long Beach.
Gotcha. So not a NASCAR pace car.
No, not NASCAR.
Okay.
It wasn't
I was
NASCAR. It was
Toyota now would probably be fine with that, like a Camry.
That's true. Yeah. How sick would it be, like a TRD like pace car edition Camry?
So cool. I saw a light blue one. I've only seen the white and red TRD Camrys, and I saw the light blue as like a kind of like grayish blue khaki color.
I've only seen red.
Super cool.
You don't see. You know what I've never seen in the real world? The TRD Avalon.
They look the exact same, but just bigger.
Pretty much, but more Avalon-y. But I've never seen one of those. I can't imagine they're selling any of those. That might be a fun car to have.
Yeah, some retirement
Not actually
person,
fun, but just
community guy has one. And he's like, it's just an Avalon.
Yeah.
Same power plant, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same drivetrain through and through.
Cool.
It's just, I wish you can somehow get get dual clutch or something.
I'd rock the shit out of one of those if I had one.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Absolutely. All right. Every episode we come away being like, we should buy 7.
Dude, my car list on this episode just quadrupled.
Quad 4-drupled.
Quad 4. Do overhead cams.
Exactly. You're gonna go get yourself a Plymouth Turismo. Well,
are you gonna quiz on me?
I might have to go.
Why don't you get your stuff up? Move your computer away from me so I don't.
I am. I will have to. obscure my obscuration.
So guys, this is our automotive print ad quiz section of the show. Frank is going to look for something I'll never be able to guess. But anyway, we read print ads, which is a primitive form of advertising before we all succumbed to the internets.
Right.
So he's going to pull up an ad. It's 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I have 3 guesses to arrive at what kind of vehicle ad he's reading. He's going to leave out, omit anything that's going to clearly give it away to me. And he'll give me hints, which are probably usually horrible and leave me floundering still. But we're going to try it. This is called our Automotive Print Ad Quiz Show. Frank, take it away.
In these, I refreshed my my quiver here of possible. You should be, parts of you should be, at the thought of what this one is. And this is a very interesting. You should. This one might make your junk jump. It's a really interesting ad. Okay. Yeah. But I feel like it fits the theme of what we're going for today.
Like a mad dad will make your junk jump.
That's dirty. Daddy Mac will make you
dirty daddy.
Dirty Daddy Mac. Interesting. Let's keep going. Exactly. No cocktail fruit, nasty Nate. On a complete, solid, outrageous tangent, I have a friend who he had a gig for a little bit. He's now a firefighter, but pre-firefighter era, he had a job where he was babysitting rich kids. Literally, it was, I think, but they were like, they didn't need a babysitter. I think one was like 11 and one was like 13. They totally were just okay to be there by themselves.
One on their own home.
But it was just like, well, just, yeah. I don't know if they weren't to be trusted. Maybe they had situations with matches being played with. So they had to have my buddy, Tim, if you're listening, shout out. He would babysit the rich kids. And so they would hang out and listen to music and play video games and stuff, right? Horrible. And so that song, the Jump by Criss Cross, came up. And so they were just jamming out and kind of singing it. And my buddy Tim was singing it. And they're like, wait a minute. Those are the lyrics? For some reason, when it goes, Criss Cross will make you jump, jump. Daddy Mac will make you jump, jump. And that whole part, they thought it was, for whatever reason, they thought it was, that part, the Daddy Mac will make you, they thought it was Daddy might be naked. Daddy might be naked, jump, jump. They just thought that was the lyric.
That's TCAP edition right there.
It was definitely, yeah. Yeah. Would you like to please have a seat?
Yeah, can we talk about a quiz?
We should, yeah. We'll just get back on task. You explained the rules already, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
We did. So everyone is up to speed. Now to get you up to speed on the ad. The text is only like the bottom third.
Okay.
The next third above that is the vehicle. Rear 3/4, it's black in color.
Okay.
And then the rest of it, including behind the car, and then the whole rest of it is a yellow and red spiral. Like literally like a hypnotize you spiral.
It's going through like a wormhole in time or something?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. And the car is casting a shadow, which is like a purple and pink like gradient shadow.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then it says in the upper corner, it says, "What are you staring at?" In like a playful font. Okay. Gotcha. That's in a purple
oh my
oval.
God.
Blank. Whoa. This is not exactly the same old. It's the blank. An exceptionally exciting extreme. As a 2-seater 4x4 T-top. Things which have never been combined in the same sentence before. Let alone put on wheels. Let alone coupled with dual airbags, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, power steering, and a gutsy 16-valve engine. It's fun to a factor of X. It's on-road, off-road, uptown, and downtown. It has everything you want, and it's like nothing you've ever seen. So if you were wondering how to have a little more fun in the 90s, it could be the answer's right here, staring you right in the face.
Okay. Really, the vehicle's in black? Out of all the exciting colors they could have put it in for this ad?
Yeah, well, it's you're supposed to be drawn into this spiral graph situation. Hence what are you staring at?
I think I'm gonna fuck up the name of this vehicle.
Ooh.
So I think I know it.
I mean, it's very specific.
I got it.
It's either you'll get it or you'll never get it.
So I have it. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I have it, but I don't know if I'm gonna get the name right.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna play the name.
Don't fault me on that.
Okay.
So what I'm the biggest thing I'm cluing off of is 2-seat 4x4.
2-seat
with a T-top.
2-seater 4x4 T-top. Things which have never been combined in the same sentence before.
Nope, because Suzuki Samurai would have been too big because it had back seats mostly, which were optional.
Especially on a tin top.
Yeah, I thought the tin top looked great, but I want the convertible. I want the convertible.
Yeah, I still want a tin top. I don't know.
The tin top reminds me of a Trooper, like a small Trooper.
Yeah,
they're first gen. There's other small ones like the Daihatsu Rocky, which still has a back seat. There's the Sidekick Geo Tracker, which still has a back seat. I'm just gonna nail it, dude. We're talking about a Suzuki XL9. Final answer.
You are extremely close, my friend. It is not the Suzuki XL9, which I think is you're cross-pollinating this car with the Suzuki XL7, which is a stretched Grand Vitara. This is.
Am I just messing the name up?
You are messing the name up. You have the car.
So I don't have
you
the
know
name.
what it is.
I don't know how. Yeah, it's the 2-door. It's basically
it is exciting,
a lifted Miata.
exceptional, and extreme.
No, don't let me.
To the factor of X.
It's not XL. Is it X? Not. No, it's something. 9's in it, right?
Yes.
X is in it.
Yes.
It's not XL9.
It's not XL9. That's you're thinking XL7. You're cross-pollinating this and the XL7.
But I know the name. I know the.
You know the name. You know the car. Have you ever seen this vehicle as the Red Bull mobile with like the Red Bull?
Yes,
cans on
but
the
I
back?
always see this one in. I always see it in teal or something exciting. It's funny that it's in black, but I get what you're saying to draw attention.
I
to
will
the
say it does have the scripting on the door.
It's not like an X19. It's something.
X. You're as close as humanly possible. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, because I'm there.
I'm going to hand feed.
I know
you.
what this is.
It's not the X19. That's a Fiat.
Okay.
This is the X90. X90.
Yes. I was there. Like, I even
X90.
saw the name.
Whoa.
And the name was written in like this
Are you ready?
aggressive...
Are you ready for this?
Let me
Y'all
see
ready
it.
for
I
this?
want to see this. It's so sexy. It's a lifted Miata, basically. So cool, man. God, I told you I wasn't going to get the name at the beginning, but I know exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's the only thing like that.
I applaud them for doing it.
Dude, you could get a manual. And it has
Correct.
a four low, high
yeah.
gearbox.
I applaud them for doing it.
They're pricey.
This
now.
had no business making it outside of any kind of focus group.
You can find these, though.
Can you?
Yes.
I can't remember the last time I've seen one.
I see them all the time, but what happens is people lift them and put off-road stuff on it, and it ruins it.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Because
really,
then you don't have, as it says here in the ad, you have the off. You lose the on-road. You keep the off-road. You lose the uptown and the downtown. If you lose it, you only go off-road. You want it all.
Part of the ad.
You want it all.
But usually you can get them in teal and like some other.
Teal. I feel they had like a fuchsia.
Pink for sure. The
Pink,
interior
teal,
was
white.
The interior was
silver.
not very exciting, but you could get the manual, and I thought they were super cool.
They are cool.
Really small.
They are
very
cool.
tippy.
Very, very small. Would you? And a T-top. Don't forget the T-top.
Yes, the T-top.
The T-top. Boy, extremely cool. I would love to get one.
It looks like a micro machine.
It's not a micro machine, but it is the real thing. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely want one. Well, congratulations, my
Thanks,
friend.
man. I knew I was gonna mess the name up because I was blanking on that, but I knew right when you said
kind of,
two-seater.
the car is extremely unforgettable. The name, pretty forgettable.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
It should have had some cutesy.
You know what? It looks like
name,
kind of like a cappuccino, like a lifted cappuccino almost.
Cappuccino would have been a perfect name for this car.
Would have fit.
If you flip flop the name of the cappuccino and this,
You could have called it the Cappuccino Cross.
yeah, just cross. We're gonna have a whole cross episode on how that's the.
It would have worked though,
The
right?
word cross is like the worst thing to happen to model
Better than
names.
X90. Cappuccino Cross would have been cool.
Yes. Boy. Yeah, I think it was mostly sidekick bits, right? It was like sidekick.
Yep.
It was like the urban sidekick.
It got the engine from the Sidekick and everything, so it didn't get the crappy Suzuki engine. It got the actual Sidekick 1.6.
All right, I'm gonna have to find an X90.
Dude, you're
now.
dwelling. That's my strong point. Is these crappy little teeny SUVs.
I know. That's why I do. And
As
that's the
soon as
thing.
you said it, like, oh.
Yeah. But the ad copy was too good.
What
and
an ad.
It fit the theme of like the.
If I ever buy one of those, I'm buying
topic
that
today.
poster. Yeah, for sure.
You definitely should. Yeah, just actually get the spiral just like airbrush onto the hood.
Or I'll do the seat fabric like that.
Ooh, that would actually that would be
kind of hot.
Genuinely dope. Speaking of things, I've been working on some things in the garage. In the garage.
Is everybody cool around here?
Yeah, I think they're down. Genuinely speaking, the only drug that they allow people to do here is either mescaline, which I don't have, or PCP.
Do you think anyone's done angel dust in a Senna? Or has
In
anyone
general?
ever ridden in a Senna without doing angel dust?
Ooh. Well, first off, I think driving a Senna it's like
Kind
it's
of.
the automotive equivalent of doing PCP.
I would say so.
I don't know that anyone has done. I think the chief PCP user base is. I feel like if you own a McLaren product, you're probably not doing PCP. What do you think is the most popular supercar for PCP users?
Ooh.
I'm thinking Gallardo.
Yeah. Maybe Countach back in the day.
Could be Countach Mercy, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably a 348. Probably 348
Testarossa
TS.
probably.
Could be a Rosa.
Diablo.
Could get
Diablo
roasted.
for sure.
Could be Diablo. I don't know. Either way, we do have PCP in the form of Project Car Progress.
We have to put that on there because we don't want to get swatted.
Yeah, quote unquote Project Car Process. How long does it take PCP to kick in? I don't know. We're about to find out. If you'll find out if we go long here, then you'll just see us.
Yeah, if I'm out in the garage at night, I'm
I'll just
doing
be like
something to keep it
headbutting the
focused.
Senna into oblivion. Speaking of damaging my own things, I just, as of last night, rolled the Galant into the garage. I haven't done a whole lot more than that, but the battery was starting to go flat because it's just been sitting since I picked it up from yours truly and brought it to the house, and on its maiden voyage back, it decided it wanted to be pumping oil through the exhaust and blowing smoke out the tailpipe.
Which is common after someone does like 10 quarter-mile pulls and drives it for hundreds of miles.
Not even hundreds. Hundred. So it's a weird deal. It's either the freshly, by mileage, rebuilt turbo decided the oil seals wanted to give up the ghost after the initial 100 miles. Or there's something else going on, but the PCV system's brand new. Pretty much everything is brand new.
Yeah, everything's good now.
But it went 100 miles or so without blowing any smoke, period.
Yeah.
And then driving home a freeway pull or two, just nothing crazy, not like triple digits or nothing, just like getting around traffic. And it's freight training, even at idle, just pumping smoke out the tailpipe.
Yep, we got oil coming in somewhere.
Yeah, and it seems turbo related. I don't think it's anything else. There's no other noises. There's no warning lights. There's no oil pressure situation. I haven't done a compression test, but I suspect all that's fine. I think we're just pumping oil past the turbo seal, and I don't know if it's the turbo seal's fault or something else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disconnect the drain line to the turbo just to see if like nothing comes out. Okay, we've isolated the variable. I don't anticipate that to be the issue because I know you did all new gaskets and all that stuff, so that should be great.
Well, I mean, you got to think of the history of the car too. Like this is a great point to make. Is if you have a rare kind of performance car, don't take it to a quick lube. Guys, this car had basically probably automatic transmission fluid in the diff, everything. The trans
they just got
but overfilled. The trans had an extra like 2 or 3 quarts.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yeah, it's just
if you would have driven this car, and if I didn't automatically switch out fluids, which I always do, you'd possibly be in new trans, new diff.
Yeah, why is everything crunchy? Yeah, so now I've
transfer case also was full of the
yeah,
same
exactly.
stuff.
And
the PCV.
That was
so
the
the
deal.
PCV
That was the main.
had
I
an
think that's the
aftermarket,
straw.
parts store special PCV where it blows both ways, which used to be my like nickname on the GallantVR4.org forums.
Right. Yeah. And in the military
and real life, college and everything.
Yeah, to national tell. The whole thing with it is it's. I think that was the initial deal was the wrong PCV valve.
Can make a huge
which has since been changed out, and I know you put a proper OEM
Mitsubishi
turbocharged specific part.
Yeah.
It's just weird that it was perfect for 100
so
miles.
much hard testing too.
Yeah, not just like putt around town under 3,000 RPM.
Full quarter-mile rips.
Like and so
it performed well.
It did, and it still feels okay. It's undrivable, the amount of smoke it's pumping out, and I don't want to be.
Could be a combination.
I don't want to coke up the cat. I don't want to do a bunch of other stuff, so I'm not going to drive it.
Truthfully, I believe that there was a lot more oil. I probably could have drained things more, and there's probably still a significant amount of blow by because of the PCV. And that extra pressure, when you did a highway pull, which is the most amount of strain, was enough to push that inner seal out of the turbo and cause it to fail.
It could be.
I kind of feel like that's where we are. I think
it could have been the straw that broke its back.
Yep.
What I'll do is if I get the drain line disconnected, and oil comes out and it seems fine. And then I pull the feed line, and oil comes out and it seems fine. Turbo's coming out. That's it. And then, of course, I'm also going to go along with it and clean everything else out because I don't want to, all the intake, plumbing, intercooler.
Intercooler piping, yep.
Yep. See what I got, and then send the turbo off to somebody who's competent.
That's it. Yeah, get it rebuilt.
And I don't think it's a fault of the old builder, whoever built the turbo. You shouldn't be pushing. I mean, and it could also, too, it could be, for whatever reason, pushing oil past the turbo with the seals okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Usually that ruins the seal, but...
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm about to break the seal with my mountains that are blue here. Would you, what have you been up to? That's all I've been. It's not a ton of progress, but some progress is progress. And I was just in Hawaii for a freaking week, so I haven't had a whole lot of time to get stuff done.
Where's that World Smiles violin for you?
Oh, right, exactly.
Poor Frank.
Yeah, well, my wallet's a little lighter, but that's a whole other...
Yeah, but you look great in a hula skirt.
Aloha, boy. Boy,
what have I been up to?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Little Porsche Cayman S action. So, your own cars, when you work on cars for a living, are the last ones to get the love. Overdue on a bunch of maintenance items. Yeah,
my Galant, it's been sitting for 8 months or whatever.
The same deal. The Cayman S needs some stuff. I was getting a little puff of smoke at startup, which is standard AOS, air oil separator issue. They just they have a diaphragm inside that kind of weakens over time. I'm at nearly 110,000 miles, so there's a little bit of residual oil pushing by and sitting, and when you start, it puffs out. So replace that with a Porsche OEM part.
Yep.
Not bad job. I'm doing spark plugs. I did the air filter. I'm also taking my bore scope and going into each cylinder bore to see if there's any bore scoring, which is
Anything
major. So far, everything's perfect. Little carbon on top of the piston, standard, like nothing serious.
Right.
So we'll address that, but there's nothing better than seeing, and that's why I tell you guys, the higher mileage Porsches, I mean, bore score is going to set in usually 40 to 80K. Is when you're really going to see the effects or adverse effects of that, and that's why I stay away from low mileage stuff. And my bank account prevents me from doing such things.
Yes,
but you get a higher mileage, good running car. Chances are you've dodged that bullet.
Yep.
So that's what I've been up to. Really cool maintenance, and that thing's gonna rip and be happy after. So new spark plugs.
Then you got to drive the damn thing, right?
I do got to start driving. I need some new tires eventually, but it's a
hoot. That's what I'm anticipating for the next couple of weeks. PCP is that hopefully I will be in Project Rescue the S2000.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
And then we can
don't shoot your load yet. Let's wait till we get there.
Well, it's true. That's true.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'll be really good. To keep it going. I've got a timing chain tensioner on order.
Ooh, he's getting ready, folks.
We're getting there. So
big shout out. I guess we'll wrap this up. Big shout out to Car Park for hosting
yet again,
providing this amazing backdrop.
I'm curious, like if we do another one here, what the backdrop will be then. Maybe it'll be
always changing. Something sweet, usually.
Could be. Yeah, well, definitely going to be. There's not a loser in the house here.
I mean, hard to beat a Senna, but whatever.
Yeah, right. But no, seriously. Big shout out to the homies.
Yep.
Here at Car Park. That's cars with a K. KARPARK here in Pleasanton. Top flight enthusiast car storage facility and event space, and they are eventing for us today. They're letting us hang here.
Big thanks, guys.
I'm thinking we might do some more here. Hopefully we'll get some guests through here sometime soon. We keep talking about that. We're like 30-ish episodes in. We don't have a single guest yet.
Sure, we'll get there.
I don't know.
Building the brand.
Should we do the whole thing? Like the first to comment on our Instagram will be a guest. On the
Swing
show?
by, guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have to. If you're in like Germany or something like that, we'll have to figure out how to do the Zoom live.
Yeah.
Thing. But yes, otherwise, that Instagram handle for us is at APA Podcast on Instagram. Chadwick, where can you be found?
Auto Obsessive Garage on the gram and the tubes. Check it out, guys.
Yep.
And Frank, where can we find you?
Oh boy, I am at. What am I at? Oh boy,
something with your skill
I'm at
trade.
The Photographer's Garage on Instagram and on the YouTubes.
Except no lesser substitutes on that.
No, not at all. That's it. That's all. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time.
Yep. Take care, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.